What's up, YouTube? Zero here, and today I have a gun blueprint review of the Brutal Matters, which is a gun blueprint of the BAL-27 in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. In this video, I'll go over the attachment setup of this blueprint. I'll talk about what I like and what I don't like about the attachments on this gun. Then I'll get into what I like about the overall attachment setup, what works really well and what doesn't. Then I'll talk about, as you can see in the right hand corner, the camo on this blueprint. Then I will talk about where you can unlock this blueprint in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. And at the end of the video, I'll talk about if you should trash this blueprint or if you should keep it, if it's one that's definitely worth using. But stick around for that. If you do enjoy this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more Call of Duty content. I do a bunch of other video games, so feel free to check those out as well. Without further ado, let's get into the attachments of the Brutal Matters for the BAL-27. First, I'm going to start out going around the horn with the muzzle. This is a basic muzzle. You're going with the Shadow Strike suppressor. This suppressor, all it does is it's going to make you undetectable by radar, which is absolutely phenomenal. Typically, as Call of Duty games start to age, more and more players get used to the map. Being undetectable by radar is going to be even more critical. Players are going to utilize the minimap more. They're going to see you on the minimap, whether especially in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, some of the equipment that you can put on allows you to see enemies on the minimap longer. So staying off the minimap is going to be really crucial, especially at this point in Call of Duty's age, or Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3's age. So it's actually a really nice attachment to have. There are a bunch of muzzles that you can utilize that take you off the radar, but of course, those muzzles have pluses and minuses. This is just a plus at keeping you off the radar, so I do like that. It's of course better for game modes like Team Deathmatch and Kill Confirmed, because really the only objective is to kill enemies. It's nice to be able to sneak around, to come up from behind enemies and kill them. Not saying that it's not worthwhile for objective-based game modes. You can still absolutely utilize it. You can come up from behind enemies. You can get good spawn areas for your teams. If you're in the hard point or if you're playing domination, try to get better spawns for your teams so the enemy isn't aware of where you're going. You can kill enemies on the way, and those enemy players aren't going to understand that you're on the map or that you're sneaking up on them. So that's always nice. But if you are more of an objective player, like you want to capture a hard point, you want to capture the areas, the game lets the enemy know that you're in that hard point or you're capturing the domination zone. So it's not as useful for that reason, but it is still very useful, and I do love not being seen on the map. I do have a lot of suppressor attachments on a lot of my gun builds, so I absolutely love having a suppressor that just takes me off of the map. Next, we have a barrel. Now, this barrel is the Crown H3 barrel. This has a lot of benefits. Plus bullet velocity and range, it significantly increases that. It also increases the aim walking speed, the aiming idle sway, and the movement speed. This is going to be at a cost of the sprint to fire speed and the hip fire and tack stance spread. So if you're more of a running around player, you never want to lose your sprint to fire speed. So it's not going to be as good when you're a type of player who's running around a lot, because if you get in a face-to-face one-on-one gun battle, you're not going to get your gun up as quick. If you try to hip fire a little bit, it's not going to be conducive for that. But it does allow you to move a little bit faster. Your bullets are going to be firing quicker and have a better range. You're going to be able to aim down the sight and walk a little bit quicker. So those are always pretty nice to have, of course, depending on your play style. Next, we're going to have an optic, the Jack Glassless optic. I actually really like the look of this optic. It looks really nice. This has a couple of pluses and a minus. We have a precision sight picture, of course, That's what all sights do. They do give you a better visibility, does make it a little bit easier to fire in most cases, and it also increases firing aim stability. I've gone over this in some of my videos before, but firing aim stability is very crucial, especially in one-on-one gun battles. It may be the most crucial in those one-on-one gun battles. Now, this is at a downside of aim down sight speed. So again, in those face-to-face one-on-one gun battles, you're not getting your gun up as quick when you have this optic on, so that is another drawback. So if you're a little bit faster pace of a player, again, we're not seeing this build, this blueprint come together for faster place fares, but let's keep going into our stock. So for our stock, the sandbar heavy stock, what this is going to do is it's going to increase our firing aim stability, our aiming idle sway, our recoil control, and our gun kick control. This is going to be at a cost of hip fire spread, sprint to fire speed, aim down sight speed, and sprint speed. So again, we're kind of seeing the Brutal Matters blueprint formulate itself. It's starting to be a gun where of course, this suits my play style. I'm a little bit slower paced of a play style. If you have a slower paced play style where maybe you're not sprinting around as much, you're more of a, all right, I'm going to kind of sneak around the map, I'm going to come up on enemies, I'm going to sneak up on enemies, or I'm going to be holding positions a little bit, holding corners, maybe making sure that enemies aren't coming up on my team when we're holding a hard point. Maybe I know where enemies are coming from when I'm playing team deathmatch because I know where they're spawning from. It's going to be a little bit better holding a point and aiming down sight and getting on those enemies rather than running around, because we have a lot of negatives in terms of just running around, sprinting around. Finally, the last but most certainly not least attachment to this gun is going to be an underbarrel, the SL Skeletal Vertical Grip. This is going to help us out with our aim down sight speed, so we're getting a little bit back, but not too much. Help us out with the vertical recoil, help us out with the sprint to fire speed, again, getting some back, but not a ton, and help us out with the gun kick control at a cost of hip fire and tack stance spread and horizontal recoil. I hate losing horizontal recoil in favor of vertical recoil. Normally, the vertical recoil is a little bit easier to control rather than the horizontal recoil. But honestly, in general, overall, with these attachments, this gun, at least especially for my play style, it plays pretty well. It's actually a really good attachment setup, especially for some of the slower paced players. I play a little bit slower paced, not insanely slower paced, but for my play style, it works really well. If you're a faster paced player and you enjoy running around, you need the sprint to fire speed, the movement speed, maybe even hip fire because you're running around so quickly and you're coming up on enemies so quickly, this isn't going to be the blueprint for you. But for me, a little bit slower paced, kind of methodically taking my place, either helping my teammate out with a hard point, trying to position myself so enemies don't come up, or by slowly moving around the map to make sure I'm coming up on enemies where I know they're coming from, it does work out really well for me. So overall, I actually really do like this attachment setup. It's great, but it may not be for everybody. Again, faster paced players, it's not going to be as great for y'all, but overall, this is a really great blueprint. Now, you can see in the top right hand corner the blueprint camo that we have on this gun. It's not bad. I could enjoy a little bit more pop rather than just forest green and gray. It's okay, it kind of goes with their poison type theme, and it's okay. I do like that it does say like biochemical matter radioactive, which is pretty cool. That's what the BMRI, that's pretty cool up in the corner. It does have a couple of like a toxic sign on there, but you have to really zoom in to see it. It's a cool, I do like forest green. I just like this to pop a little bit more. So overall, I do love this gun. I do recommend y'all check it out. I'm going to keep this in my arsenal. I use it a lot. It's really great, especially for my play style. Now, if you want to unlock this, this is unlocked in the Season 4 Battle Pass of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. But again, I hope y'all enjoy this video. We are coming down to the end. I enjoy this. I recommend checking it out. Let me know in the comment section if y'all have checked it out and if you like it as much as I do or if it's just not your thing. Let me know. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe for more Call of Duty content. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day, and until next time, peace.